Blessed be everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about shadow work, and I'm going to give you some tips on where you can start if you're trying to do this on your own. But before we do that, I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. If you're new to the channel and you want to know more about Wicca and witchcraft and connect to nature, spirit and magic through the practices of witchcraft, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. And if you want to start your witchcraft practice but you're not sure where to start or what to do, download my free video, How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. The link is in the description field below this video. Shadow work can be difficult to do on your own, and I get a lot of people asking me, where do I start with shadow work? How do I do shadow work on my own? So the first place to start really is to educate yourself about shadow work and what it is. So go and have a look at Carl Jung, where the whole idea of shadow work kind of began, and then have a look at more contemporary authors who are speaking about it in a more of a self-help, self-development sort of spiritual context, because it's changed. The term's changed from the more traditional psychological term to how it's used in the sort of broader community of spirituality and self-help. A good author is Debbie Ford. I really like her work. She wrote The Dark Side of the Light Chasers, and she also wrote a book alongside of Deepak Chopra and Marianne Williamson called The Shadow Effect. Now, Debbie Ford has passed on, so she's no longer with us, but she did do some very interesting work, and she really worked with some really good techniques to help you get more familiar with really facing your shadow. So educate yourself first, have a look around, see what it is and what it involves, have a look at some self-help techniques, see how you feel with using things like journaling, even try using affirmations and reframes. Affirmations I have not found to be particularly successful, and the reason is that it's because you're trying to change the subconscious mind using the conscious mind, and that doesn't work. But at least get a sense of where it's trying to take you, because what shadow work really is doing in the modern age is taking you from the beliefs that you have about yourself and the world that aren't working for you and aren't true anymore, and it's also helping you integrate those parts of yourself that you have not wanted to acknowledge or that have been deemed to be socially totally unacceptable. When I'm talking about shadow work, I'm really talking about it in a general self-development, spiritual development sense. If you do have any mental health conditions, then don't rely on shadow work outside of therapy. Do go to a qualified therapist to help you with anything that is seriously a mental health condition. Shadow work is great to use alongside of working with a therapist, but don't rely on it as being the only thing to do, because it can get very deep and it can really bring up some wounds. So make sure that you are working with a professional if you feel the need to do that. I'm not a psychotherapist, so I can't give you any psychotherapy advice. All I can give you is the work that I do as an EFT practitioner, a qualified EFT practitioner, and as a coach. So that's really important to understand. Education is the first step. Second is you can start using some techniques to get you familiar with what is going on with you. So start with where you are. What isn't working for you in your life right now? What are you struggling with? Emotionally, maybe even physically, health-wise? What are you struggling with? What's going on in life? Are you having problems with money, relationships, career? What's going on? That's the best place to start. You don't need to start further down. Just start where you are, because where you're struggling right now is where you're meant to be starting, and all of the other stuff, your childhood stuff, is all going to be related to that anyway. And your journey is probably going to take you into inner child work and working with family of origin and all of that stuff. So start where you are. Get yourself a journal. Or if you want to record yourself, depends on what works for you. Sometimes recording your own self-speaking is very helpful for some people. Other people like to write. whatever it is, or video yourself even. Whatever works for you, use a technique that works for you. Talk about or write about where you are right now and what you're struggling with, and then take particular notice of what it is you're feeling. What emotions are coming up for you right now, and where are you feeling it in your body? Where is the tension? Are you feeling it in your solar plexus? Are you feeling it in the heart chakra? Next year in 2022, I'm going to be launching a shadow work course that is in conjunction with the chakras. So it's doing shadow work via working with balancing the chakras. So keep an eye out for that because I will be launching that next year, and I'll let you know when that happens so that you can join up. But in the meantime, just take notice of where in your body you're feeling the energy, and the energy is going to feel probably unpleasant, like a tension or even a pain in your body somewhere, and often that is related to emotional pain, or it may have gone even further than that and ended up as a physical ailment or something. So write all of this down, get familiar with your body, because your body can really help you get to know who you are, and really can help you ground all of this energy. Once you understand your feelings, you need to understand your thoughts. What are you telling yourself in this situation? What is running through your head? What is the self-talk? Because that's very revealing, because that's telling you what you believe. It's telling you how you perceive the world. It's telling you what's wrong and what can be fixed. It's giving you so much information. Your thoughts are related to your beliefs, and once you find what your beliefs are about yourself and the world around you, you can start to change the beliefs that aren't working for you, or the ones that are causing you grief, or the ones that are holding you back from really being able to live in your autonomous sovereign self in the world. So this is really the important stuff, capturing those thoughts so that you can learn about what your beliefs are. These beliefs are going to feel real in your body. So take notice of how the belief fits into your body and where you're feeling the truth of that belief. Now that's not saying the belief's true, it probably isn't. In a lot of cases, what we believe about ourselves and the world isn't actually true. We've been brought up to perceive the world in a particular way, and it's not necessarily that way. Think that it's very much like The Matrix, the movie The Matrix. We're living in a matrix, and everything that we think is going on in the world isn't actually going on like that. And when you're walking the magical path and you're working a lot with energy, you do start to realize that this is a very different world. It's not the solid world that we think it is. And a lot of what we're seeing and experiencing in the world is our own projections. So the shadow work helps us change the projections so that we can actually project a much more healthy picture of the world and have a much more healthier experience of the world as well. So really want to get those thoughts. It can be difficult to get your thoughts down on paper. You might not know what they are. So the technique I'm going to give you now is just a good way for you to get clear about where your thinking's going. It doesn't solve the thinking, it doesn't change the thinking, but it just helps you be aware of what you're thinking. And this is called the arrow technique. I have spoken about this before. It's a really good technique to start off using. So you'll write a sentence about your situation. So maybe you're struggling with practicing witchcraft right now. Maybe there's a number of different beliefs that are stopping you from actually getting on your path and doing the practice. One of those things may be that you may be living in an environment that you feel anyway, or that you believe isn't supportive of your practice. So write that down in your journal and then put a little arrow underneath it, and then under that statement go, well, if this is true, what does it mean? And you'll find there's another belief underneath that. So for example, I can't practice, I'm too scared to practice witchcraft because I'm worried what other people are going to think. If that's true, what does it mean? It means that other people might judge me and criticize me, or even totally ostracize me from the family or from the friendship group because I'm practicing the craft. And, I'm scared. Little arrow underneath that statement, if this is true, what does it mean? It means that I can't practice the craft, I can't express myself as I truly am. If this is true, what does it mean? It means I can't be me. So you can see where all the beliefs, the self-talk and the beliefs are going, and that you may be struggling, and this could be different for everybody. Everyone may have a different reason for what's troubling them in regards to this situation. But the one that I've come up with is that I can't be myself. And that's really revealing, because it's helping you understand that perhaps in the environment that you're in, you feel anyway that you can't be yourself. Now that doesn't mean that that's necessarily true. You may find that other people may be more open than you thought they were, but at least it helps you get a sense of where you're really sitting in your beliefs and what's making you feel the way you're feeling, what's perhaps making you procrastinate. For example, if you're a procrastinator, it's generally a belief down there or a fear, or it's not safe to do the activity. It's not safe to do the activity because I'm worried about being judged. But if that's true, what does it mean? It could mean that, they're going to throw me out, they're going to ostracize me, I'm going to lose my friends, I'm going to lose my family. So then you can find out where your beliefs are, and then you can start working with these beliefs. And underneath these beliefs, there may be beliefs about not being good enough. There may be beliefs about the fear of annihilation. All of these beliefs can be revealed just by using that simple arrow technique of, if this statement is true, what does it mean? And then you can just keep following it down. Once you've got your thoughts, once you've got the beliefs, and you may have a belief that's running that you may be questioning, is this belief true? Like maybe you do have the belief that I don't have the right to express myself. That's very much a second chakra, and so you may find that you've got a lot of tension in the sacral chakra area, and you may have maybe even ailments in the sacral chakra area. Then you can get to work on clearing that out and working on modifying or changing those beliefs and really questioning as to whether those beliefs are true or not. And this is where shadow tapping comes in. You can even do the work of saying to yourself, well, what if I can practice the craft, be a witch, and be safe at the same time? Or use the what if statement of, what if I'm allowed to be a witch? What if it's okay for me to be a witch? So if you do have the belief that it's not safe to practice witchcraft, and you feel that you really need to change that in order to really be connected to who you are, then put a what if statement in front of a more affirming statement. The reason for the what if is that the what if is only suggesting to your subconscious mind that change is happening. It's not trying to force the subconscious mind into changing, it's just giving it a suggestion, and the subconscious mind is more open to suggestions than it is to orders, unless you're under hypnosis or you're working with tapping. But we always go with the what if statement in between, turning something that's negative into something that is positive. So play with that. When you get a very strong belief like, or I don't deserve to be happy, could be a belief that you come up with, then what if I do deserve to be happy? What if I can be happy and safe at the same time? What if I'm allowed to be happy? And you can do that while you're tapping on the karate chop point, which is just the side of the palm of your hand. That will help relax your subconscious mind, get you into a little bit more of a relaxed physical state, start producing those alpha waves, and then you can start to reprogram your subconscious mind. So it's a good place to start. But you need to know what the beliefs are first. Another thing that you can do, which is working more on your shadow qualities, and these are the parts of yourself that you don't want to own. So it's easy enough to go, yes, I want to change these beliefs that aren't working for me. But it's another thing to go down the rabbit hole of dealing with your own selfishness and your own narcissism and your own beliefs and behaviors and aspects of yourself that aren't really very good. So it's really important to do that work. And this is really where the Debbie Ford work comes in, where you can utilize the other people that come into your life and see them as a mirror to the part of yourself that you're needing to work on. Now do this with people, the average everyday kind of people or celebrities. You don't want to be using psychopaths for this. This isn't about psychopaths, okay? We're not going to deal with the psychopathy aspect. So this is about normal shadow work. That's the things that most people have within them that you want to deal with. So don't go thinking that you've got to use psychopaths as a mirror, okay? You just want to start with the average everyday aspect. So maybe there's people in the media that you don't like, you really have a distaste for. You know, maybe it's a celebrity, maybe it's a politician, maybe it's whoever. You can write down the qualities of that person that you really detest. You really detest these qualities, and write them down, because these qualities that you detest in that person, unless they are a psychopath, and even if they are, you want to check out, are they really a psychopath, or are you just calling them that because you don't like them? And see and admit that you may actually have those same qualities. So if you see somebody as being very narcissistic and very being a buffoon or something like that, well, where's your inner buffoon? Where's your inner narcissist sitting? And coming to terms with that. Because in the shadow, there's always a gift. And you can work with those aspects of the other person to know that, okay, I'm denying that I've got narcissism within me. Narcissism is just an extreme version of what is called self-love. I mean, Narcissus fell in love with his reflection of himself. So self-love is a very positive thing, and self-acceptance is a very positive thing. So you want to get that gem out of there, and also learn that it is also about you and other people at the same time. So this is where the more tricky side of shadow work happens. But you don't have to start there. You can start with the beliefs stuff, because that is a little bit easier to deal with. Dealing with your own shadow things like selfishness, narcissism, and other things that are down there in that cellar or sewer of shadow can be really difficult to work with. So that's when it is good to work with another person, or even get together with a group of people and work on it together in a group, because it's not an easy thing to see your reflection of yourself as not the perfect person you're trying to be to please everybody, but being, not the perfect person that you want to be, or being the perfect person that you're trying to force everybody outside of yourself to be as well, because a lot of our desire to change other people is to do with the fact that we actually really need to start working on ourselves and changing ourselves first. So that's also a good shadow thing too. Are there people in your life that you want to change? Well, try changing yourself first. Make the judgment more towards what you can change within yourself, and then you may start to see things differently. Those people may still be who and what they are. They may still be narcissists, and they may still be problem people. But if you're more connected to your own shadow self, it'll be much easier for you to deal with them or to get them out of your life. So this is where the beauty of shadow work is. If you do want to do shadow work with me, working with the chakras, then do book a free clarity session, so we can just have a talk about maybe where you are blocked and where a good place for you to start is. That's a half-hour session, and that's free. And the link to my email is in the description below this video. So just email me, let me know what you're struggling with, and then I'll give you my calendar and you can book a time in the new year, because there won't be any more times available from here on until the end of till the beginning of 2022. I also, if you're wanting to do some shadow work on yourself and you want to do some tapping, do have a look at my Tapping into Abundance. So this is a book that I wrote a long time ago, more for the broader self-help scene, and it is about using tapping in conjunction with manifesting. But it goes through a lot of the very common things that people have to deal with, such as shame, feeling not good enough, not being allowed, to have abundance. So do have a look at that. It's available on Amazon. The link is in the description field below this video. It's called Tapping into Abundance. If you like the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Sandra, and I'll see you on the next video.